We are talking with Kelly Sumner, co-author of the book Entwined by Adoption. How are you, Kelly?
I'm great. How are you doing today, Susan?
Great, thank you for asking. Can we ask you some questions about the book?
Absolutely.
Great. First, what made you decide to write your story?
Well, this book has been a 7-year journey, and as we know, 7 is God's perfect number. In fact, the Bible talks about the number 7 490 times, and it talks about the number 7 as being completion. And what's interesting with that is that this book really has been a completion. It started, ironically, at a writers' conference up in Estes Park 7 years ago, when Nancy and I both attended, though neither one of us knew each other was there. We both had gone up there, and I met different people, and they kept telling me I needed to meet somebody, and before I knew it, I ran into Nancy, and of course, I'm like, I know her, and everybody's like, you do? How do you know her? And I'm like, she adopted my son, and they're like, what? What do you mean? And so before they knew it, our story kind of got out, and people started asking us about, wow, you're both writers, and it turned out we both wrote in the same genre, and we both wrote fiction, and we both like to write fantasy, and it was a God thing, and it was pretty amazing. And we knew then that our story needed to be told. We actually had a contract for this book before we had even written a single word for it. And ironically, that contract fell through later on, but that was also a God thing, because we went in a different direction, and it led us to where we are now, and which we feel is a much better book, and we're really excited. So 7 years, 7-year journey, but we're here, so hooray!
Yay, that is so exciting. There were definitely some scenes that don't portray your family that great. Were you worried about that?
Yes and no. Anybody who comes from an alcoholic family or a family of divorce can tell you that there is going to be ups and downs in a family. Writing about it is a totally different ball of wax. It's not easy growing up in a family like that, let alone having to write about it and share it with the world. There are some points where my family is not portrayed that great. But I think through it all, you can see that God's hand really was covering not only my life, but my family's as well. So it wasn't easy, but I tried to do it in the best light I could.
Sounds good. You chose to give your child up for adoption. Can you tell us a little about why you made that decision?
Well, I was 16 when I got pregnant, and as you know, I came from a dysfunctional home with alcohol and drug abuse, and I was not ready to be a parent at that time, and I wanted my son to have a better life. And I was also adopted, and so I hoped that by giving him up for adoption, that he would have a chance at a better life. And so it was probably the hardest decision I ever made, but one that I still would make again today if I was in that position.
Sounds like a hard choice.
Yeah.
What was the hardest chapter for you to write?
That would be the last scene in the hospital. I write about when the social worker comes to take the baby. We name him Brian in the story, so I'll just refer to him as Brian. I brought an outfit for him to go home in and everything, and I dressed him, and when the social worker comes, it was just probably one of those things that just tears your heart out. You just wish that the floor would open up and just swallow you, because you don't think that your life could ever go on again. I still can remember him, walking. I can remember the sound of her shoes clicking on the floor as she's walking down the hallway. I can remember, it was awful. And I had to rewrite that scene over and over and over because I couldn't allow myself to go deep enough to get to the emotion of it. And I remember Nancy telling me, "No, I want to get more. I want more." And I remember looking at her going, "Are you kidding me? What are you trying to do to me? Are you trying to kill me here?" And she's like, "No, you need to show me more." And so a lot of tears. But I think when you read it, I think the reader will really get an understanding of what I felt when I went through that scene.
Sounds heartbreaking.
Yeah.
How do you hope this book will help others?
Um, well, Nancy and I, when we started this journey, it was never about us just telling our story. It was always about kind of a ministry for other people and how our story might be able to help others and minister to others. We know that there are people out there struggling with infertility, and there's couples out there wanting to adopt, and there are teens out there looking at, that are faced with pregnancy right now, and they don't know what to do. And we're hoping that maybe our story in some way might have some impact on what they might decide to do. We don't know. All we can do is hope that maybe it might touch, even if it touches one life, or maybe two, then it's done its job.
If someone wanted to get a copy of your book, where can they get it?
Well, the actual book, Entwined by Adoption, will be released November 4th on Amazon, and right now it's up for pre-order on Kindle for the ebooks, and so we're really excited. November is Adoption Month, so it's just in time. We did that on purpose, as we're pretty big into adoption, so but this will be available on November 4th, so mark your calendars. We're really